Alright, the review today is going to be a novel by Julie Garwood that was, I believe, originally released in 1993. But this book is so good, they re-released it in MP3, CD, unabridged format recently. And it's called Saving Grace. And it's set in the era of King John and with the Scottish lairds and the barons and all of that. Now, I'll read you a little piece of the back. You can read the full excerpt on her website, which is juliegarwood.com. In this splendid New York Times bestseller, Julie Garwood brilliantly crafts the majestic story of a young English woman determined to fight for her freedom. A woman whose life would be transformed by the rare, unexpected gift of love. Now, the gist of this book is a woman who has been married off at a very young age, a tender age, who has had her self-esteem chipped away, her confidence destroyed, and then later physically abused. And then years pass and she becomes a widow. And the king wants her to be remarried and wants to marry her to one of the most awful creatures on this earth. And she is determined not to be remarried. She wants to be in peace. And it just doesn't happen for her. Her foster brother comes to the rescue in the white knight, so to speak, form of giving her the perfect match, which would be a Scottish laird that would get her out of England. Now, it's important to get her out of England because she knows a secret. Of course, nobody knows exactly what that is except for her. She later divulges it, but only to a select few people. And it has a lot to do with your loyalty and what you would have to do if something this damning came out. And it was about your leader. And when she first arrives, one of the coolest things that I thought of in this whole book was when she's saying her vows, and it says, how it says, to honor, cherish, love, obey. And she thrusts her bouquet at her brother and takes off. And her soon-to-be husband is following her going, what is going on? And then she says, I can't promise to obey you in the eyes of God. I can't promise that. And he finally just looks at her, and he's so frustrated. And he's this gruff, huge Highlander. And he looks at her and he says, will you try to obey? And she says, I will. And she's smiling and she's all happy. And then she qualifies it by saying, on occasion. It's just the start of a whole new life for her with, people she doesn't quite understand. It's like a whole new culture for her, a new language that she's already been learning, but it's all new. And so she's thrown into this new life, and she falls, it's this normal romance part. She does find that she does care for her husband very much, and he does for her as well, but they grow together. And one of the things is that he hated knowing that she was abused in so many ways, and he tells her, I don't bite, you never have to fear that. And he would never physically harm her. And she gains she gains trust in him through all the trials and tribulations that they go through together. It's a must read. A couple of the quotes I want to share with you before this ends is, she learned how to read because her barren husband was, he always said she was stupid and ignorant and couldn't do anything and ugly and just all those things. And anyway, he said she couldn't learn how to read, so she learned how to read and write and other things that she did, to improve herself. She just kept it quiet. So her husband says, and the priest says, it was your quiet defiance that saved the clan. And I just think that's just gives you chills. It was your quiet defiance. And how many of you have done things and quietly defied what society says is the norm to better improve yourself? And that's why I like this novel. It'll never go out of style. One of the other things that is quoted is, "You're the clan's saving grace. You're my saving grace." Now, how many of you ladies out there wouldn't like somebody to say that to you? I know I sure would. Anyway, I recommend this novel. I love a lot of Julie Garwood's novels, especially in audio format. Take the time and pick up a book or pick up an audio book and enjoy your reading. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions or comments, or you read it, please share with us what your thoughts were. If you liked our channel, please subscribe.